Thank you for joining us on the program. Now, campaigning for Cameroon's October 7 presidential elections have officially begun. It started on Saturday. 9 candidates will take part in the election, including 85-year-old President Paul Biya, who has ruled the Central African country for 38 years. But opposition parties have failed to agree on a single candidate to face him and are reported to be suspicious of each other in their desire to unseat him.
Alors Jerry, on va faire un petit tour.
We are going to do a little overview of these first days of campaign between Yaoundé, Douala and Bamenda. We are in line with Lambert Ngwamfo, our correspondent in Cameroon.
Au Cameroun. Bonjour Lambert, comment allez-vous ce matin?
Hello Lambert, how are you this morning?
Bonjour, ça va très bien au niveau de Cameroun, ça va très bien, tout se passe très bien.
Bonne nouvelle. Merci beaucoup. Alors, que peut-on retenir?
What can we learn from these first 2 days of the presidential campaign in Cameroon?
La campagne électorale pour la présidentielle du 7 octobre prochain a démarré.
The electoral campaign for the presidential elections on 7th October began with meetings and street demonstrations in many Cameroonian cities. During the first 2 days, 5 out of the 9 candidates stood out particularly well. The candidate for the Movement for the Renaissance of Cameroon, MRC, Maurice Kamto, braved the ban on his campaign launch meeting in Douala, and it was in front of his militants supervised by the security forces that he carried out his campaign program. The candidate of the Social Democratic Front, SDF, the main opposition party, Joshua Ossi, chose to travel through several cities in the littoral and western region during the first 2 days of the campaign through a caravan. Cabral Libi, for his part, launched his campaign yesterday, Sunday, in Edea, before continuing his meetings late in the evening in Douala, in front of thousands of Cameroonians. Outgoing President Paul Biya did not make a trip, but his ministers held meetings in several cities across the country, while Akeremuna of the Popular Front for Development, FDPD, held his political program at the Yaoundé Congress Center. What we can remember is that the campaign has indeed begun, and we note a real enthusiasm of Cameroonians for this presidential election.
Alors, vous parlez d'engouement, Lambert.
What are the campaign themes chosen by the different candidates?
Candidats en lice pour cette présidentielle.
Les thèmes de campagne retenus par les candidats regroupent
The campaign themes selected by these candidates are grouped around the same concerns: security, health, education, and economic recovery. As you know, this election is taking place in a tense social political context in the 2 English-speaking regions of the Northwest and Southwest. All the candidates affirm that they will bring peace to these 2 regions once they are elected President of the Republic. How will they do it? Some, like Joshua Ossi of the SDF, propose federalism as a solution to solve the English-speaking crisis. Others, like Paul Biya, argue that in their campaign program that effective decentralization of the state will bring peace to these regions. Some candidates are surfing on the economic crisis that is shaking the country and proposing the return of investors who will bail out the state coffers if they're elected. In short, the campaign themes revolve around safety, health, education. All them, they claim to know what to improve the living conditions of Cameroonians.
Pour terminer, Lambert Ngwamfo, avant de vous laisser
Finally, can we know who will do what in the next few days?
Les prochains jours qui vont être cruciaux. Qui fera quoi? À quoi doit-on s'attendre de la part des différents candidats dans les prochains jours?
Alors, la campagne a démarré le samedi 22 septembre.
The campaign started on Saturday, September 22nd, and will end on October 6, 2018. On the eve of the election, President Paul Biya, 36 years in power, whose campaign posters are currently visible on billboards, is expected to be in Marwa in the far north region in the next few days. The exact date of his first outing for political meeting has not yet been made public. Some candidates plan to continue with meetings across the country's cities, while others prefer door-to-door campaigning while posting posters in public places. Courageous candidates such as Joshua Ossi and Maurice Kamto are considering organizing meetings in English-speaking regions, despite the prevailing climate of insecurity. Finally, it must be said that ELECAM, the body responsible for organizing the elections in Cameroon, has been carrying out ballot boxes and ballots to remote areas since Saturday to prevent some polling stations in isolated areas from not being operational on polling day. Thank you, Lambert Ngwamfo, for all this information. We'll continue to closely monitor developments in Cameroon throughout this campaign.
Merci beaucoup.
Lambert Ngwamfo is our correspondent
in Douala, Cameroon.